Hey everybody, it's Damien here from Guitar Journey. I really hope you enjoyed that jam track of the Gary Moore classic, Still Got the Blues. And if you did enjoy it, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We've got a ton of content here on the Guitar Journey YouTube channel. We have jam tracks, we're adding more all the time. But we have lesson videos, we're adding more of those all the time as well. And we have pathways to help you navigate this awesome journey that is learning and playing the guitar. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you along for this journey. In terms of how to get the most out of this backing track, the song is in A minor, and I'm going to cover the chords very quickly. You can play these chords all over the neck. Of course, we understand there's not just one place on the guitar to play a given chord. The first chord is D minor 7, and you can play it a number of places, as I said. I like to play them kind of in open position for this song. So we're right down here. It's almost like I'm making an F chord, and I'm just lifting my ring finger so that the fourth string, the D string, is open. There's my D minor 7 chord. The second measure is that very same D minor 7 shape, but I bring my ring finger over to the 6th string to give the bass note a G, D minor 7, but with a G bass note, okay? From there I go to a C major 7, and here in first position, that's a very easy chord to make. I just make a C chord and lift my index finger. Nice sound. Similarly, there's an F major 7 that follows that C major 7, and instead of clamping my index finger down at the first and second strings at the first fret, I simply allow the first string to be open, like that. Okay, then we have a B minor 7 flat 5. Again, number of places to do this. I like to put it here. B, F, A, D, okay, right here. And if I want to swing my index finger over to the first string, first fret, I can do that, like that. I've got an E7 chord right here. Lots of different ways to do that. I can make it E7 flat 9 right here. I can make it E7 sharp 9. Lots of different ways to do that as well. I could do that E7 sharp 9 down here, making a regular E chord, but flattening my pinky across the first and second strings at the 3rd fret. Kind of a nice sound, okay? What you might call the chorus part that follows the sequence that I just mentioned does that main sequence that I just went through twice. And then we've got what we might call a chorus. Well, that's A minor to E minor. Those are pretty easy. Then you've got a D9 chord. A minor to E minor, A minor to D9. I make my D9 right here. Once again, lots of places on the neck I can make it, but this is a nice one. That's a nice sound. We also end up with an F9, same exact shape, down to that E7 sharp 9, and that's a nice sound there. So that's a very rough run through of the chords, okay? Additionally, scales, okay? I always like to point out that if you're earlier in your journey and all you know is a simple pentatonic scale, maybe this one right here, index finger on the 6th string at the 5th fret, and we got this one right here, you can make that, just that one scale, you can make that sound wonderful over this chord progression, okay? So much about rock and blues and really every form of music, jazz as well, country as well, pretty much everything. It's about the phrasing. It's not about knowing some fancy scale. Yeah, some of those are kind of cool, but ultimately it's the phrasing that matters. So if you have really good phrasing and you just know this one scale position, believe me, it can sound really, really nice. If you do want to do more, in addition to that, pentatonic fingering, we've got one index finger right here at the 12th fret of the 5th string, and we got that one there. We've got the high octave of this one. Okay, kind of a tight squeeze up there, but we can manage. Additionally, most of this sequence, the chorus part, what I described as the chorus part, a little iffy, but most of this sequence is pretty much right at home in A minor. And therefore, if you know them and if you're comfortable with them, your A minor diatonic scales are in play. And we can find them all over the neck. I won't go through every last one of them, but here's one right here. Of course, I've got one right here. It's the same place I found my pentatonic scale earlier. And indeed, this one right here, same place I found the other pentatonic scale earlier, the one with the root note on the 5th string. I could do the high octave of this one I did down here a moment ago. I could do it up here, my index finger at the 17th fret of the 6th string. That can sound really nice too. And I like to go back and forth, pentatonic, diatonic, pentatonic, diatonic. They tend to complement each other very well. Okay, now the chorus part, when we see that D9 chord, we have to be a little bit careful, a little bit on our toes. The D9 has an F sharp in it. Now, if you're not comfortable with just this little bit of music theory, don't worry. But in a nutshell, the key of A minor, A natural minor, A Aeolian, if you want to call it that, simply has the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, G. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No notes are sharped, no notes are flatted. But that D9 does have an F sharp in it. And so we need to kind of acknowledge that when we're soloing. Those of you that are more comfortable with a little bit of music theory, you might recognize that when we take the F note and make it an F sharp in the context of an A minor scale, we're actually playing the Dorian mode there. But it's only for that D9 chord, okay? Additionally, anytime you're in a minor key, and of course, as I've said, here we're in A minor, anytime we see what's called the 5 chord, and that just means the chord that's built on the 5th scale degree, we want to pay special attention to that. In the key of A minor, our 5 chord is E, okay? In A minor, I said the notes once again, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Well, A, B, C, D, E. E's our 5th scale degree. If we see an E minor chord, as we do in what I've called the chorus section, that fits squarely into A minor, no big deal. But if we see either an E major chord or an E7 chord, which we also see, you might want to break out the harmonic minor, the A harmonic minor scale. And all that is, once again, think of it in reference to our basic A minor, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. With the harmonic minor scale, we raise the 7th scale degree by 1/2 step, which is to say 1 fret on guitar. So what is the 7th scale degree? A, B, C, D, E, F, G is going to become G sharp, okay? So you can experiment with that as well. The G sharp, the A harmonic minor scale, I don't recommend doing it all the way through. Only when you see either an E major chord or some kind of an E7 chord, okay? An E dominant 7. But you wouldn't do that, for example, over the A minor, over the E minor that we see in the chorus to the song, okay? The other thing really quick, one thing that really makes a solo nice is, I mentioned earlier, you contrast the diatonic scales with the pentatonic scales. Similarly, it's a good idea to focus on contrasting slower, more soulful passages. Maybe we're doing some nice slow bends, some very, very heavy vibrato on our notes, and you intersperse some faster passages. Now, you might be saying, hey, I'm not really comfortable doing faster passages. That's okay. You don't have to be some shred player. I'm not. It's just a matter of contrasting busier passages, we might say. Maybe I shouldn't even use the word faster passages, just busier passages, greater note density, you might say. Contrasting that with slower, more soulful, whatever word you want to use, kind of passages. Contrast kind of minimalist phrasing, slow bends, heavy vibrato. Contrast that with more energetic, greater number of notes, busier, as I like to say, passages. They don't have to be super fast, but there's just, you want to set up that nice contrast there, okay? So I'm going to take a shot at soloing over the chord changes and the backing track that we've listened to today. I'm going to try to incorporate the ideas that I just mentioned to you. Before I do, once again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again, please hit the subscribe button, okay? Tons of content here, tons more content on the way, so please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, leave me a comment as well. I love to hear from you. I mean that sincerely. I love to hear from you. I always say we're building a community here. And the way I look at it, we can learn from each other. So if you think that I've missed something, or maybe you just flat out disagree with me on something, go ahead and write a comment. And we can all learn from each other and benefit from each other's perspectives, okay? And ultimately, we can enrich each other's guitar journeys. So hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, and I'm going to give a shot to Still Got the Blues by Gary Moore.
Thank you.